everyone and welcome back to the channel. So lately my TikTok For You page has been filled with videos about a topic that is really making me question everything that I thought I knew. It's about Black Americans and how they are not going anywhere because they're actually the aboriginals of America. This conversation has been gaining traction ever since President Trump signed executive orders related to deportation. And now a lot of people are coming out and saying that Black Americans should be deported back to Africa because that's supposedly where they came from during slavery. I'm not gonna lie, that's what the systems taught me too. The systems that colonized Africa, the Western systems. The history books in Africa push the same narrative that Black Americans were originally African. It could be maybe some of them, 1 or 2, 3, but lately I've been learning a lot by watching these videos and putting the pieces together. And the more I watch is the more I start thinking that we've been lied to. And in this video I'm going to show you some of the clips, the same ones that are making me look at Black American history from a different angle. Videos that are beginning to make it clear why so many Black Americans are standing firm and saying that they are not going anywhere. They've always been in America. I'm not saying I have all the answers yet. I'm still learning, but I'm beginning to ask different questions on this topic. And I think it's time we all start asking the same questions. I mean the people who don't know the truth yet. So let's watch these clips that I collected for you guys together. And then I'll come back at the end of this video to give my own 2 cents.
You plan on leaving the country?
Nah, man, this is my country. I'm originally from here. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
We indigenous to the Americas. I'm not from Africa, so I'm from America. My ancestors are from the Americas, so I don't have a home to go to. I'm at home right now. We are the indigenous tribes here in Americas. We got pyramids here. We got Sphinx here. You know, this is spiritual Kemet, what you call Egypt. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm at the crib. I'm never leaving. I go, you know, of course I travel, but hey, we here. We the Indians. We are the aboriginals and the indigenous to this land. I'm home. I'm at the crib. Straight up.
When you say that we're here, this is Egypt or this Kemet.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, so for instance, imagine that everything you've been told is a lie. Like, what happened if, you know, the city of Yahudim, or what they call Judah, is actually in Utah?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What, like, literally, what happened if ancient Egypt is actually is along the whole Euphrates River, or what we will call the Mississippi? And then you start studying the Mississippian tribes, and you start looking at what they built. They monuments, they structures, and it looks like Egypt. And then some of this shit is older than actually Egypt. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. You go to East St. Louis, you got a place in East St. Louis called the Cahokia Mounds. And it's an old civilization, Indian tribe called themselves the Cahokians. You know what I'm saying? And you look at these mounds were pyramids. Then you start digging in these mounds, you find hieroglyphs. They done found emerald tablets with Hebrew writings on it, the Hebrew commandments on it, and they carbon dated these things back, and it's older than things that's actually in what they call Egypt today. It's a conflict right there. I got to start questioning things. So, you know, and then even when you get into the scripture and you get into Revelation chapter 18 on up, it calls America spiritual Egypt. Then if you read the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68, it says that the people of Yisrael, or what they call the Hebrew Israelites, it said that they will go into Egypt again by way of ships. You see what I'm saying? And then you start really studying slave history and what's really going on here. It's like, hold on, maybe we already up in this deal. So me personally, I think that they tampered and flipped the maps, man. Just like they made us believe in disease when disease don't even exist. There's no such thing as a disease. You know what I'm saying? It's the body naturally detoxifying itself. But we have bought into the illusion. They teach us since we was born, we go to school, they shove it down our faces that, you know, viruses, there's some viruses that you can't get rid of, and these symptoms are disease. But then when you get in the field and you start working with people, you be like, hold on, this is not a disease. This is the body natural way of detoxifying itself. So you get a cough, you start coughing, you go and get suppressive therapy, and you buy cough syrup to suppress the cough. But if you look at the actual mechanism of a cough and you feel what it's doing, you coughing things out. You breaking up coagulations of mucus built inside the bronchial tubes for you can draw in that breath. A sneeze, hutchoo. You sneezing out antigens and particles that you getting in from air pollutants, but you will go get Claritin to actually basically suppress the particles deeper within you. A fever, you want to break the fever. You go get Benadryl and Tylenol to break the fever, but the fever is actually making the blood thin for you can get circulations to wherever the inflamed spots at. They say disease starts by inflammation, but inflammation inflammation is nothing but the localization of certain type of antibodies inside the blood that actually need the goodies to go to. So then you put all these things together: the cough, the fever, the inflammation, and the sneezing, and the body shivers, and the inflammation, and they say you got a virus. Like, hold the hell on. This sounds like detoxification symptoms to me. Because if I put somebody on some herbs right now and put them on an all-fruit diet, they're going to have these same symptoms. So it's our perception that's off. So I think our perception of the map is off. We don't know where the fuck we at for real. How do we know? Any nigga ever been to outer space? We don't know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and it's a white lady. Shouts out to this white lady. She's been teaching that the maps have been wrong. She's a social studies teacher. I can't think of her name right now. She's been teaching that the maps been wrong for over 40 years now.
Is this lady on TikTok?
Yeah, man.
Sure.
White lady with white man. She always, and she pro-black than a mug, man. Shouts out to that white lady. But look, she been proving that the maps have been wrong. The maps have been flipped. They making Africa smaller than what it really is. They done made Russia big than a motherfucker. They make America. Like, America is 10 times bigger on the map than what it really is in real life. So we don't even know the sizes of the countries. We don't know the size of the cities or states. We don't know where the hell they at. We don't own no airplanes. We don't own no astronaut vehicles.
Satellites.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't know, brother.
Okay, for some reason, people don't understand how we didn't come from Africa, but how we were still enslaved. Okay, so big war, World War I, big war. They took over the country because it was like 7 or 8 countries. I don't know the exact number, but they all attacked America at one time, which they attacked the copper colored people, which is us. Okay, so after the war, it took years now, a lot of years, hundreds. After the war, that's when they enslaved the prisoners of war. Then they then they took the prisoners of war to other countries, UK, Africa, places like that. Hence why you can see people in the UK look just like black Americans. You can see some people in certain parts of Africa that look just like me, because y'all are actually indigenous to America. Europeans and UK and all that, y'all are actually indigenous to America. You certain Africans that look like us, you're actually indigenous to America.
Lost Tribes of Israel. This is right from the Jewish American Hall of Fame, all right? Asher Levi, the first Jewish settler in America, settled in New York. That's a dark-skinned man on that coin right there. He was awarded the coin in 1999 because he's the first Jew to settle in America. You guys ever heard of Levi jeans? Levi Strauss, a clothing manufacturer, won the award in 1979. That's another dark-skinned man on that coin. This is all I wear is Levi's. They make the best jeans in the world. If you go buy a pair of jeans, go buy a pair of Levi's. Here's another man, Uriah Levi. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but he was awarded it in 1988, and he served in the U.S. Navy. If you're a dark-skinned man in America right now, you're either from the tribe of Levi or from the tribe of Judah. So now that leads us to the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah appointed the tribe of Levi in all the synagogues. If you're from the tribe of Levi, you're a priest in the synagogues, all these churches. That's where you're supposed to be placed at right now. This is a man right here, the lion of the tribe of Judah, kings of Ethiopia. He was the last throne holder of the Ethiopian Empire. You know who that man looks like right there? Kyrie Irving. And you remember they tried canceling him in the NBA for speaking out on this? Okay? I'm not even kidding. Kyrie Irving is from the tribe of Judah. It says right here in the article by amuseum.org on Asher Levi, until the Jews can recover their ancient rights and dominions and take their rank among the governments of the earth, this is their chosen country. Here they can rest with the persecuted from every clime, protected from tyranny, oppression, participating of equal rights and immunities. And the excerpt from this speech featured on the medal is encrypted with Noah. The civil war with the North and the South, that was the split of Israel that all involved Judah. That's why all this got lost. All the dates got reset. 1,000 years got added to our timelines. I walked through all the structures, all the history, and all my other videos. Just go take a look at my page. Now, Solomon ended up with like a bunch of women, all right? He fell into sin with pagan women. This is how Judah fell into sin. It's safe to say that the other 10 tribes, they're most likely different races of people, because Solomon was out here just messing around with everybody. He was building temples for all these women. That's why there's all these pagan temples, all these different pagan gods and all these deities in these temples that are all built the same architecture. They're all from Solomon spending his money on these women. He was known to have a fleet of ships. He was worldwide at this point.
Guys, why can Africans not get this concept? Black Americans are not immigrants. You Africans flee everywhere: Europe, Asia, the Middle East, America, Canada. So when you see somebody with melanin somewhere in the world, you think that they are a migrant from an African country or a descendant of migrants from an African country, but not when it comes to Black Americans. We are indigenous to the Americas. So if I get tired of California, I might go down to Florida. When I'm done in Florida, I might go to Puerto Rico. Hey, I might feel like going to Mexico, so I'll go from Puerto Rico to Mexico. Oh, damn, maybe I'm tired of Mexico and I want to go back towards the Bahamas. Maybe I'm tired of the Bahamas and I want to go up to Oregon. Oh, maybe I'm tired of Oregon and I want to go down to Louisiana. Guess what? That's all still the Americas. That's all still our homeland. Y'all are the migrants. We're not. Which is why we're not worried about Trump or ICE or none of that, because Black Americans are the only non-deportable class of citizen.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So as we come to the end of this video, I want to leave you something deeper to think about. You know, there's a growing body of knowledge. Much of it is dismissed or buried in mainstream education that challenges the narrative that we are all taught. The narrative that Black Americans only arrived in the U.S. Through the transatlantic slave trade, that their presence on the land is solely tied to bondage and displacement. But history, if you're willing to look beyond what's been handed down by the system, it tells a different story. So let's go back, way back to the days of European exploration, when Christopher Columbus arrived in the so-called New World. He didn't find an empty land. He didn't discover untouched wilderness. What he and other explorers documented were already built structures. You know, I've heard about the pyramids and just some other structures there, statues of something. I've read about that. You know, I'm still learning about Black American history, but so far, so good. Okay, and here is where it gets interesting. Many of those early accounts describe people with dark skin. The presence of melanated people was not just a footnote. It was part of the landscape. The explorers didn't bring civilization with them. They encountered it. That's how I can put it. Yeah. That begs the question, who were these people? Like, who were there before, even before Christopher Columbus arrived there? More and more researchers, independent scholars and voices from the community are putting the pieces together, suggesting that these early inhabitants were not foreigners. They were the ancestors of today's Black Americans. In other words, they've always been there. The idea that every Black American descended from Africans brought on ships is not overly simplistic. It's likely inaccurate. Okay, I'm not spreading misinformation. I'm saying according to what I've read. Okay, yes, slavery happened. Yes, people were taken, but what if it wasn't the whole story? What if only some were taken into slavery and others were already there? It's like one brother said in a first video, I think, or second clip, that maybe they flipped the maps. Maybe they rewrote the directions, redefined the origins, not just geographically, but spiritually and historically. Maybe they needed to, just make up some stories to justify what they built, like what they really built US on. Because when a people know they are indigenous. When they understand, they are rooted. When they understand, they are rooted, they become harder to erase. Let me rephrase that. Because when a people know they are indigenous, when they understand they are rooted, they become harder to erase. Okay. And that could be why they're told otherwise, that they came from somewhere else, that they didn't belong there, that they had no homeland in America to defend, only a foreign past to remember. But the truth may be that the US, America, the rivers, the mountains, they've always been theirs, That's not to say I have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm still learning, and I would love to hear what you think about this. Educate me. I'm sure I've made some errors in my commentary. Yeah. And I'm depending on you guys to correct me and to admit that what I once accepted without question now feels incomplete. I'm learning, I'm observing, I'm listening, just like many of you. Yeah. So this conversation is bigger than what we've learned here. We're living in times where truth is being reclaimed piece by piece, voice by voice. So to all my brothers and sisters watching, know that your story is not just rooted in trauma. It's rooted in origin, in presence, in belonging. You don't need to be sent back anywhere. You are home. With that being said, I just want to go ahead and say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, staying curious, listening to me with my ignorance on this topic, which I'm expecting you guys to educate me on this in the comment section down below. And please, let's be mindful of the comments that we are leaving. We don't want our comments to be flagged by YouTube. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Before I go, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share this video. And I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.